Today we're going to work on assembling signatures and how to arrange them. This is a journal I'm working on, and so I thought I'd video this and kind of walk through the set. I usually do mask making. It just makes it a lot more fun. And so I already have 5 signatures here and 5 signatures here. And a lot of my ephemera, I also do mask making. So I've got these supplies that are ready. And of course, if you're using printables, you're just going to be doing a lot of cutting and having things set up. But I like to really make mine from scratch if possible. I do have a few printed things. So my first signature, I had pre-made this moon card. It can be a floating card or you can glue it down, and I glued it to the page and turned back these papers on the side, old dictionary. And then a lot of my papers are either eco-dyed or coffee dyed, spray stained. So this one's coffee stained. This is an eco print. And then I mass made several of these in a challenge with Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. This is the stage I'm sewing pockets, sewing the edges. So I added some lace to this. Sewed this pocket in. This is Distress Oxide spray. This one's a coffee spray. I added a tab here that sticks out at the edge of the book, like that. I used some oxide spray on this notebook paper. This is oxide spray also with cut out dragonflies out of paint tabs, paint sample. Another 3x4 card here. This one's an eco Distress Oxide spray, and here's a little moon here. So I have a Luna moth here. And then this is the other side of each one of the pages. So they're all 8x6, 8.5 by 6, I think. The other side of the envelope, and it is a pocket too. And when I get, well, actually I can use this one here. Cut a little thumb hold on it. These are just the other side. Now I'll probably add a couple pockets in here. This needs some more pockets. And then this back has some stenciling on the page, and I added this belly band using my abalone shell bubble buttons and just scraps and tidbits all sewn on. And you can slide a card in here. My second signature, they're all about 5, maybe 6 pages. I added this stationery, but I do have some cool stationery that I made, so I'm adding that to different ones. But I wanted this butterfly and ferns in here. So this, I made a pocket here and a tab up there. So this can go in like that. It's a crinkled page. It's oxide spray with wax, copper wax on it. A stamped page, stencil stamp, pocket there. This is a floating pocket. And I went on with my green fern theme. So this journal has mostly greens in it, with the accent of all the cream colors and browns. This pocket I have to sew shut. This is a floating pocket here. And I have a little penny pocket here. And this little tab there. Inside there's tab areas you can hold things down, and a penny pocket there. So this was just one-sided printed paper. I'm trying to do a challenge of using up some of these printable stuff. I really don't care for them, but I'm trying to integrate them into the work, and I might start painting on them and stuff too to sabotage, I guess you'd call it, the print. But in here is a stencil that I used, and then I put a pen pocket in here. And this is coffee dyed paper. This is a vintage 1882 bank ledger. I'll sew a pocket there. Here I cut out a maple leaf and glued it on the crinkle paper. Did some stamping on the back of that with some fern and a iridescent stamp. And the second signature, all of these journals have a theme of tree, nature, acorn. They all will have an acorn in it and insects. So that was a little drawing. I added this little acorn down at the bottom. Use some Japanese paper here from Japan. This is stationery I made, and that's what I'll be using in most of my journals, is this handmade stationery. This pocket will be sewn shut. Another pocket to sew shut. I'll probably sew some pockets on the edges of these. It's a floating pocket. And this is from the Chinkapin oak tree. And yes, it's featured a lot in here too. That's why I have the acorn, because the acorn is a diagram. My little acorns on my huge giant tree are really teeny tiny. So I have the leaves from it. The tree's about 400 years old. And this was the eco-stained paper, but I gel printed a lot of the leaves too. Another envelope. A little bit of paste here, to fiber paste. Give it dimension. It's a floating pocket with a window in it. And so there's a place here, somewhere here, to slide your picture in there. And I will probably put some watercolor pictures of mine in there. Here's a stamped tree. Here's a page from the ledger. And I did scan it and print it out. The deposits were $26 in 1882. This guy was really rich because there was $1,000 there and a $259 there. Some of the deposits were as small as $4. So here I've already sewn a tab on it. This is one of my original works of the big tree in my yard. And then I just added this little postcard, faux postcard in here with a vintage button. I've got a bunch of vintage buttons from the 1900s. Some onion dyed paper and another tab on here. So that tab will stick out. Music sheet, this will be sewn shut to make a pocket and put some artwork in it. And more blank sheets, which I will add pockets to. And then, let's see, the tab will stick out like this. And I'll probably sew some laces, vintage laces on there that are real cotton, some tatting. I always add a really late 1800s tatting to these journals. So this is the big woods, the redwoods. And these are oxide spray. This is coffee with a stencil on it. It's an eco print. This is leftover binding from a page that I tore the pages out, and I'll add some little tiny pictures into this and little flowers. And this is a faux rice paper, so it's very thin napkin, but it's processed, so it's really sturdy and heavy duty. And some more oxide spray and coffee. And I think I need to make this center page. I meant to make the center page something fancy and fold out. So this will be sewn so there's a pocket on that side. So that'll be the center of the book. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things still added to it before I bind any of these signatures, because I like to be able to take that page out and work on it easily before it's all sewn into a book. It's impossible. This is another page edge that some book I tore pages out of and it left the binding. Here's a little pocket folder. This, a rare thing, is a printable in my journals. It's a fig leaf eco print. So these pages also will have little pockets added to it. This is a spray oxide doily. And here's a pocket here that I'll add. Probably a floating pocket. And a specimen card with mushrooms. I think it's saddle breeches or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. A pocket here. And okay, I think I'm going to turn this one around. And then this will probably have a collage done on it. And another page tab here. And it is a negative from slides. I got somebody's scrapbook and it had a ton of them in there, so I'm making tabs out of them. Another little folder pocket here. Yeah, that may not go right there because I like the blue. I might put a smaller tab in there and then sew that shut for a pocket. There's a little tab sewn, glued on there. And then the back of the journal. So that's the last page. So I'll work on a cover also. And as you fill it up, they get a little bit heavier, a little thicker. And then this is the cover I was thinking of using for this. It's a new one I made recently. Well, each one is different. None of them are the same. And so this is, I'm going to have to trim it down. I'm not sure how this is going to work in here, but it's definitely going to be a soft binding. But that's a little stage away because I will sew each one of these. I'll have this measured out, and then I'll do a 5-hole punch on the pages, and each section of signature will get sewn in from here to here. There's going to be an inner lining also that's decorative. So I'll go through 2 pieces of fabric, and once that's sewn, these edges are turned down to blend with whatever inner cover. I have to have an inner cover here. And then this will all be glued down. And then each one of these will be sewn in here. And then once they're all sewn in this fabric, with the inner fabric here, decorative fabric here, this will be glued to this inner area. So that'll be glued on there, and then this will be between another sheet of inner, like an inside cover will be here. A little bit of finishing. So these 2 signatures, this one's done all in greens. So I have a lot of green accents to it. And this one I have sewn the lace on the edges of the pages. There's a tab. I don't think the pockets are sewn completely in, and I have to really go through and make sure I've got a nice centerpiece in the middle of each journal, each signature, sorry. So, and then this is the stationery I did for this. This one is green butterflies. And so those will go in a bunch of different pockets I have. And this will be sewn up here, and this is the stationery. Accented the mushrooms a little green. I have green fabric sewn on the side of that page. So each one I'll have a kind of a color theme, but most of them it's vintage. The tab has a little soft green butterfly on it, a little pocket with a picture in it. So lots of greens. This pocket here. And then this go on the inside cover, my business card. It'll go in there. And then the instructions on how to use the journal and how it was made. Little bits of information, because I do use a lot of upcycled, recycled. And this one is done all in yellows. Lots of yellow. This little specimen card. Each one has the acorn. Each one has the bird. They all have some trees. So go out and work with Caroline and get her workshop going, and I'll do some videos of working on the different stages of the cover.